Just in front of Red Cadeau, who's coming back. Fiorente by a neck. Oliver's lifting him, and Fiorente won the Melbourne Cup for Gay. Red Cadeau second, Mount Athos.
The first time I saw the event live was back in 1978. I remember the crowd and the impression that it made on me as a young boy, and the excitement of the race itself. Something I'll never forget. Remember it very vividly to this day.
As the barrier rises, 18 horses
For more than a century, it's been dubbed the race that stops a nation. But today, the Melbourne Cup is a global event, attracting a vast international following. Every year, on the first Tuesday in November, the world's best thoroughbred horses compete in a 2-mile race, which has become a money-making machine.
Frontier Boy, 2 lengths, Moraka's third, then came Fra.
Last year it generated about $360 million of gross economic benefit to the state, and about $750 million Australian nationally around the country. And one of the things that I always find quite interesting as a sidelight is that the Cup Carnival each year is responsible for generating the sale of about 60,000 hats and fascinators. So a lot of work for the millinery industry.
Here at Flemington Racecourse on Tuesday, 24 horses will race for $6.2 million in prize money, one of the richest pots in horse racing. Almost half the runners will be foreign horses.
More than 330,000 people will attend the week-long Melbourne Cup Spring Festival. Hundreds of thousands of race fans around the world will also lay bets on the race, many of them following the progress of their own country's horses overseas.
People would recognise it as the biggest week punting in the world. You know, the combined prize money, the quality of the fields, the number of the Group 1 races, the number of attendances, and just the sheer volume of wagering. I think it has to be considered the premier, racing festival in the world. For example, on Melbourne Cup Day alone, we think we'll do about 2.5 million bets. We'll turn over about $50 million. So, very, very significant turnover and volume.
The internationalisation of the Melbourne Cup dates back 2 decades.
Well, it was an initiative back in the early part of the 1990s by the club to go and seek out some international participation in the event. We had a strong domestic event, but it's fair to say that it needed a little bit more sparkle. So the idea at the time was to attract international participation by the horses. That's taken grip really well over the last 2 decades.
The foreign horses must spend 2 weeks here at the Werribee International Horse Centre for quarantine. They train every morning between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. in the run-up to the Melbourne Cup.
Lee Jordan is responsible for attracting foreign horses to race in the Cup.
The first international horse to come to the Melbourne Cup was in 1993, an Irish-trained horse called Vintage Crop, and he won that year as well.
This year, a foreign horse's favourite.
This is Admiraki here. He won the Caulfield Cup. He's trained by Tomoyuki Yamada, who's based in Japan. He's currently the favourite for the Melbourne Cup as well.
And do the insiders have any tips for the big race?
Despite the fact that we might have a record equalling number of international horses, I think it might be a local this year, be the first time in 5 years that wins. I like a horse called Faulkner. I think he's the one that they'll have to beat.
I'll give you two who I think are very strong contenders. Lucia Valentina, an adopted Australian horse originally from New Zealand, so that horse will be about 7-1. And then best of the international horses, Protectionist.
Well, I think because he's watching on, we definitely have to go with Admiraki, I'd say, wouldn't you?